Hey guys, it's Paul Pluta. Paul Pluta on the Paul Pluta channel. What am I doing today? I am doing paid reviews. That's right. Paid reviews. Paid reviews is what I'm doing, and I gotta be honest with you. This is paid review AP19. AP19. I gotta tell you guys, it's important that these paid reviews come to me because this keeps me going on YouTube full time. This is for Lewis. And before we do the paid reviews, quick wristwatch check. I'm wearing Frank Muller. And I gotta be honest with you there. This here is a really good one. So let's jump straight in. This is for Louis, AP19. By the way, I invented the wristwatch check. Do you think any other fucking YouTuber would fucking acknowledge that? The fucking lousy fuckers out there. Okay, this is from Louis. Louis, hi Arch. Hi Arch. Big fan of the channel and have done some consulting with you before. I took your advice last time and need some guidance this time round. I thought I would ask you this question via email. You had advised me on my limited budget and I bought the Omega Planet Ocean All Black 45mm. I wore it for a few months and although it's a great piece, it wasn't the one I wanted. I wanted a Rolex! He wanted a fucking Rolex. Through hard work and saving, I flipped the Omega and got all my money back and bought a black Rolex Explorer II 2004. I love the watch and wear it every day and will be a great travel piece. A keeper for sure. However, when I'm at work wearing a dress shirt, I feel it's a tad more on the casual side. I have a $3,000 to $5,000 budget and looking for a slightly dressier piece. Here's what I'm torn about. Do I go more modern or vintage? And is Breguet and Omega that terminal? Ooh. The candidates are a Breguet Type 20, an Omega Speedmaster Professional, a Rolex Datejust 16234 stainless, or a Rolex Oyster Perpetual 39mm used, of course. I didn't list the Explorer 1 because I've had one previous and it has bad energy with it for me. Thanks again and keep up the good work. PayPal on the way. Louis, thank you so much. This is what keeps me on the tubes. The tubes. It's people like Louis. So Louis, let's have a talk about this. For starters, when you say it's not dressy enough, you're not considering selling the Explorer. You're going to keep it, aren't you? I'm just making sure, because if you were going to sell the Explorer, I would get very, very angry and upset. Look, Louis, it's not 1996 anymore, sunshine. Any analog means a watch with hands, is a dress watch. They're all dress watches now. I know the most snootiest tailor in Brisbane, well, suit shop in Brisbane. They have models wearing big, chunky chronographs, sports Breitling chronographs. So, hey, I think you're over interpreting this. A Rolex Explorer II, man, come on, that's a bastion of conservative rule. That is really a watch you can wear everywhere. Yes, it's sports. It's like turning up in a fucking Range Rover. It's still upmarket and beautiful. Okay? It's the whole marketplace has changed. People aren't buying sedans. They're buying SUVs. The same thing with watches. They're not buying dress watches. They're buying sports watches. So the Explorer, I think you've got some little bit of issue with the brain, okay? But okay, let's just take that as a grain. Okay, we'll just say, okay, he wants to buy a second one. This is just how he's justifying it. Fair enough. You've got $3,000 to $5,000. What would I buy? Let's have a look at this list here. We've got a Breguet Type 20. That is a magnificent watch. high-end brand, Horology. I know it's not a column wheel chronograph, it's a cams chronograph, but it's still high-end. OMMANEY used to make chronograph movements for Patek. Don't forget that. So Breguet Type 20, a bargain. You want to get a nice, really good condition one. Don't get a fucked one. Got to get a nice one on a leather strap, very dressy. It's still a sports watch, but it's, whereas the Black Explorer II is a lieutenant, the Breguet is a lieutenant colonel. Okay. Then we've got the Omega Speedmaster Man on the Moon. That's kind of, I think that's a sideways move. I don't think it's more dressy. Yes, you can put that on a leather strap, but I think that's same genre. That's just a chronograph. I mean, you got to be truthful to yourself. Do you really just want a second watch? Or is this a, how are we selling this to the wife, or are we selling it to you really? I mean, I think the Speedmaster is a great choice. I reckon that's two-piece collection, an Explorer 2 and a Speedy. Fuck. One's manual, one's automatic, one's got a date, one doesn't have a date. One's manual wine, one's auto. Fucking perfect combo addition to the collection. Then we've got a Rolex Datejust 16234. I would preferably go for a no-holes case. Jubilee or Oyster. Most 16234s are on Jubilees. White gold bezel, fluted bezel. It's probably the most comfortable watch I've ever worn. A 16234. One of the most comfortable wristwatches you could ever have. No question whatsoever. It's a fucking beautiful piece. No problems with that. And finally, a Rolex Oyster Perpetual 39mm used, of course. I'm not such a big fan of the Oyster Perpetual. Not that there's anything wrong with it. I just think if you're going to buy used, I think the Datejust with the white gold bezel is just more bang per buck. Okay? Because the Oyster Perpetual 39s are newer. Okay, it's a bit bigger size. It's going to be paying a bit of a premium. You don't want the Explorer 1? Fair enough. But you've already got an Explorer 2. That's okay. Don't have to get shitty. What would I take? Okay, if it was me, what would I add? I would add a really nice Breguet Type 20 on a leather strap. Speaking of which, Sydney Watch Exchange has two in Sydney for sale in beautiful boxed papers examples. One on a strap, one on a bracelet. Tell them Archie sent you and Cove will knock off a little bit and give you a deal. I think that's a fucking beautiful dress watch. It's Breguet. It's got a great history to it with the Type 20, which was the French military requirement and the contract they had there. It's a fucking Breguet. It's not as robust as the Explorer, but it's a fucking beautiful. The Breguet coin edging, it's a fucking work of art. I reckon the Breguet is amazing to get. The Speedmaster's a fantastic watch. Fantastic. Iconic. And then the Datejust. Those would be my three contenders. Breguet, Omega Speedmaster, and the Datejust. Look, for me, it would depend on the condition. I very much, buying those, you don't buy a Breguet new. You got to get that used. The Speedmaster, I suppose you could buy that new. And the Datejust, the 16234, that model was superseded by the double 16234. So they haven't been made. They're not a current model. It's a double one has replaced it. So, you know, I would say price and condition is the biggest factor. I would be looking at all three, and I would be saying, what's the best deal that really sings to me? The Breguet, if everything was equal, you had three nice examples. What would I pick? The Breguet, the fucking Breguet on a leather. You want to make sure it's on the proper leather Breguet strap with the Breguet deployant buckle. I'd go Breguet. In fact, I got to tell you this, Lewis. I remember when I had my Breguet and I had a Polar Explorer. I used to sit. I remember. On my bedside table, I had my Polar Explorer and I had my Breguet sitting next to it and said, fuck, That would be a cool two-piece collection, a Breguet and an Explorer II, because you've got your Rolex, it's waterproof, it's just fucking, you know, it's bulletproof, and you've got your high-end, when you're going to town in the Bentley, you put the Breguet on. And I know the Breguet is not a true dress watch, it's a sports watch, but it's fucking so eloquent. I went to a state school. I didn't go to a private school. You've got to excuse the grammar at times. I got to tell you, I think it's just beautiful. A Breguet and an Explorer. Now, the thing is, the proviso is you've got to get a good Breguet. You can't buy a fucking rough, used and abused. It's got to be a beautiful example, nice example. I reckon the Breguet and the Explorer would just be two-piece collection. Fuck! Because you got to remember, the Explorer II is a bit oddball. It's not the mainstream Rolex sports. Not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's a little bit left of field. Type of person who has the Explorer II, you know, he's like an architect. He's like a gynecologist, you know. Just a cool fuck who plays with pussy all day. You know, just a cool fucker. And, I mean, he'd wear an Explorer too, you know, cave dweller. And the Breguet is also the same thing. It's Breguet. No one would know what a fucking Breguet is, but you know, they invented the tourbillon, they invented so many things. Breguet. Oh, and they were a French brand, then they moved to Switzerland. They got that French touch of pizzazz. So, I reckon two-piece, an Explorer 2 and a Breguet, fuck, that's just, it feels bigger than just two pieces. It just feels amazing. That's what I'd go. The Speedy and the Explorer, that's another fantastic combo. It is a fantastic combo as well. Yes, admittedly it is. It is a fantastic combo. And then the Datejust. Well, Datejust, that's bulletproof. That's probably, you know, the Datejust 16234 is probably the most comfortable Rolex, modern Rolex I've ever worn. The 16234. I've had a few of them. I had a few. And I only sold the last one to pay for, I had an arrangement with Seeking Arrangements. You know, I met this stunning Vietnamese girl. Fuck, she was sexy. Ooh. I needed to pay her and the hotel. You know how I hooked up with her half a dozen times, and it was amazing. And it wasn't free. You know, these bitches, they suck you dry, literally. And that's why I sold. I look at it and say, fuck, it was a beautiful example. It had a white dial with Romans. Probably the most comfortable watch I've ever owned. On the Jubilee. Just fucking, I don't know, just fucking beautiful. It was just, why did I sell it? For pussy. I mean, if you're going to sell something, it's always got to be for pussy. So, yeah, that's what happened there. So, guys, I got to tell you, that's a fantastic question. I love the question because I've actually sat and pondered this myself in the past. All of those choices are fucking hot. They're all fucking good choices. The least desired, I'd say, the Oyster Perpetual just doesn't. There's nothing wrong with the Oyster Perpetual, don't get me wrong. Especially the blue. You know, it's fucking sexy, but the Datejust is classy. You know, it's got the fluted bezel. It's the businessman. It's like a 5 Series BMW. Whereas the Explorer 2 is like a Range Rover. You know, it's an SUV. Sports. Yeah, so I reckon Breguet, Omega, or the Breguet Type 20, Omega Speedmaster Man on the Moon, or the Datejust. Fuck, that's three amazing choices. I mean, if I had a really fucking sharp Breguet in front of me, I'd fucking grab the Breguet, without a doubt. It's an amazing brand. I fucking miss my Breguet. It was. I've had a few of them. I had three Type 20s. I've had 3 Type 20s. Fucking good watch. There you go, guys. That's a paid review. That's for Louis, AP19. Guys, remember, like, subscribe, tell your fuckwit friends. Don't forget, put a few nasty comments below. And don't forget, guys, if you really want to help me out, these paid reviews help me a lot. It keeps me full-time. It helps me pay my bills, helps me buy food. I'm on a diet. I'm fucking craving chocolate, and paid reviews keeps me on the straight and narrow. Until next time, fuckers. Ciao. Hi guys, Paul Pluta, the method actor who plays Archibald Chesterfield III. Guys, I want to tell you this is so important. Guys, I depend on my Patreon supporters. Just this week, I used my Patreon funds to get myself a fantastic, lightweight, gimbal travel camera. And I just want to say thank you. This was made possible because of my Patreons. The Patreons, they made this purchase possible. And it's, you know, a piece of equipment like this is $600, plus I need a few memory cards. It's such an expensive business. Guys, if you haven't sponsored me on Patreon, please do so. Look in the description for this video here. It'll tell you ways you can help me. Guys, help me stay full-time on YouTube making videos. By helping me on Patreon, you send a small amount each month to me to keep me enthused and making videos. I can buy equipment like this little gimbal camera. Guys, come on, help me a lot, help me very much so, because guys, I want your help. I need help to make quality content. And I got to be honest with you, if I didn't have your help, it's not going to be much good, guys. It's not going to be much good. I need your help to buy equipment and to do things. So guys, sponsor me on Patreon and I'll be here for you. That's right, I'll be here for you. Please guys, help me on Patreon. See you later.
If you can't say anything real nice, it's better not to talk at all.